Hello, this is Yong Wing Hong. I'm going to present my module which is Login, Setup, Chat, and MQTT. For my first part, I will explain my adapter file. My module have total 3 adapter files which is Chat Dialogs adapter, Chat Message adapter, and List User adapter. Inside Chat Dialogs adapter have 1 constructor and 4 getter. GetCount, GetItem, GetItem ID is used to return chat dialog size and position, just normal getter. For getView, have an inspector to start this chat dialog layout. Test message.setTest is used to set last message on chat dialog. Test title.setTest is used to set title name. For color generator is generate color for chat dialog header. A image view set image drawable is get first character from chat dialog title to create chat dialog image. I also have implement an if statement to count unread message, which is here. When unread count more than 0 means have unread message for dialog and change. So I'm going to explain chat message adapter. There are an array called QB chat message is used to store user chat message. As I have covered getCount, getItem, and getItem ID previously, so I'm not going to explain it. I will directly explain getView method. This getView method is used to display list send message XML and list receive message XML in chat message layout. There are a if statement used to check which side is sent or receive message. If sender ID equal to user ID, then inspector will start list send message XML, else will start list receive message XML. Test message also will set into bubble view accordingly. Encrypt method is used to encrypt payload before sent to cloud MQTT, while decrypt method is used to decrypt message. The difference between encrypt and decrypt is just operation inside the for loop. Encrypt operation is ch plus equal 10, while decrypt operation is ch minus equal 10. For list user adapter, I have declared an array list called QB user array list to store available user. The getView method have an inspector and set test for test view. That's all for my adapter files. Now I move to common class. Common class is simple. I have declared 5 common variables for use in list user activity. Create check dialog list method is used to get username from array list and trim the length of title name if exceed more than 30 characters. So title name can display on check dialog more nicely. In holder folder, there are 4 files which is QB chat dialog holder, QB chat message holder, QB unread message holder, and QB user holder. QB user holder is used to perform user related operations such as add user. For get instance method is used to return new instance if instance equal now. Next, put user or put user method is put user to sparse array. Get all user method is add hash key into QB chat. For QB chat dialog holder, the different method is put dialogs, and get all chat dialogs method. There are a for loop in get all chat dialogs method. This for loop is add QB chat dialog hash key value into QB chat and return QB chat. So for QB chat message holder is used to perform chat message related operation such as put new message into array, The different method in QB check message holder is put message, and get check message by dialogs ID. There are a for loop input message method. This for loop is add QB check message into list result and put message. For get check message by dialog ID method is to return dialogs ID. As you can see, QB unread message holder class is just normal getter and setter. So I'm not going further explain the basic getter and setter. That's all for my holder class. Now I will proceed to my activity class. There are 5 activity class for my module, which is login activity, startup activity, chat dialogs activity, chat message activity, and list user activity. First, I will go through login activity. In onCreate method, I have declared an action bar, initialize framework, and 2 button listener, which is login button and startup button listener. Login button listener will connect to QuickBooks server if user ID and password are valid. Intent will start next activity. For startup, listener will start intent to start startup activity. For startup activity, there are 1 onCreate method and 1 function in class, which is register session. When intent start this activity, register session will create session for registration. In onCreate, there are 2 button listener, which is startup button and cancel button. For startup, listener will capture user details and send to QuickBooks server. Once registration successfully, toast will display register successfully, message else will display unsuccessfully message. Cancel button listener is simple, just set finish for it. This is check dialogs activity. In onCreate have create section for chat, look check dialogs function, set on item create listener, and set on create listener. These 2 listener is used to start a coding activity class when user click on it. Create section for chat is important in this activity class because it used to authenticate user account and retrieve user chat dialogs from QuickBooks server. Once authenticated successfully, chat dialogs will look in list view. Function of the check dialogs is similar to check dialogs setting. I have used request builder to limit number of check dialogs being displayed on list view. A for loop used to get unread message count code. QB red chat service .get total unread message count is used to get unread message. Set to cache and refresh the list view. Next, delete dialog will perform remove operation to delete check dialog from cache and remove from list. So now we move to check message activity. For check message activity, when user set up the message in chat room at the same time, Cloud MQTT have to receive the payload. Thus, I have declared my Cloud MQTT account details in check message activity class and initialize connection. I have declared MQTT host, username, password, topic, message, and payload. When chat room is loading, onCreate will call init view, init MQTT, and retrieve message. There are also a button listener in onCreate. This button listener is used to send message and publish payload to Cloud MQTT. Init MQTT is used to send username and password to Cloud MQTT for authentication in order connection successfully. For publish method is get text from user, encrypt it to payload and publish to Cloud MQTT server. Next, on option item select method contain a shift key to run edit name group, add user and remove user function. Remove user and add user method is used to start this user activity to perform their own operation. Edit name group will start alert dialog for user to enter group name. While on destroy and on stop method is used to remove message listener. For retrieve message, we have a if-else statement to perform retrieve message operation from QuickBox server. Init chat dialog methods is to perform user count in group chat. If you saw how many group member online and set drawable, which is here. For the init view, it's just normal variable declaration. Process message is used to refresh chat message when message sent out by user. And process error is display error message if there are error occur. For the last part of review, which is list user activity class, it is used to perform user selection to join private or public group chat. Inside the onCreate method, there are only one button listener. This button listener have a if-else statement for mode. When mode equal to null, it will create a group chat where more than one occupant was selected, else will create private chat if one user selected. If mode equal to add mode, it will add selected user into chat room and update record in QuickBox server. If mode equal to remove mode, it will remove selected user from group chat and update record in QuickBox server too. For load list user in group, it will only load group user in list view. Load list available user is only load available user from server in list view. Create group chat is used to create a group chat dialog and add all selected user to dialog. For create private chat, is create a private chat dialog and add only one occupant ID into the chat room. Last, retrieve all user is retrieve all user from array list to list view, and on option item selected is just a if statement to get which user ID being selected. So that's all for my module. Thanks for watching.
Hi, my name is Tam Chi Yong. In this video, I will explain all my module coding. And this self-styling system application is hosted by this Hostinger, which is using this domain name. And here is the FTP manager, which store all the PHP file for the query to the MySQL database. And this MyPHP, yeah, this is the database. And with these two table feedback and stuff, and we see the stuff. This is the stuff table, and all the image is stored based on the image URL. Then the URL is stored in here, the image file. Next, we will move on to the Android Studio coding part, which is here. Okay. So the first, I would like to explain the register product, which is the cell activity in this Android Studio. So when the user press the select image file, we will asking for the camera or the gallery is from this function, which will jump out the alert dialog file, which you can select the camera or the gallery. So when the user select camera, we will intend for action image capture, or the gallery will ask for will intend for the action get content from this image file. After the user select the image file, we'll go to the on activity result. So you check for the request code is whether the request camera or the select file. Is the request camera is from here, the intent call for the camera, the request code will be integer is 7, select file is 1888. Okay, so if the request code is camera, then the bitmap will set the file from the media store, and the same to the select file, the bitmap will also store from this media store to get the bitmap file. And when user select the submit button, we'll go on the button listener on create there. Yeah, this one. Then the validator will start for check whether it's not all the thing is not empty or blank. Then we'll do this function. Else, if the something like name field or any field is blank, we'll set the arrow. And this image outload function, we will go to this one, the upload function here. So first, the bitmap will be compressed into the JPEG, which is quality 100, and we will use the class of sync task upload class, which will on before the execute, we will show the dialog progress dialog to show the item is uploading, and the post execute which dismiss the dialog and show the item is successfully registered. And when doing the background, we will call this upload process class, which from here. This one is to the HTTP request to upload the file to the server side there. And here are the setting for the read timeout, and the buffer write will be UTF-8. And this string buffer write will be append all the field for the price and all the title contact all to the server. So let's back to the cell activity here. All the field will be hash mapped into this like price file will be hash mapped into this price. Then this one is the server side column, the database column field, which the PHP post variable. So after all the hash map putting, and you call for the final data we're getting from this, then we'll show the path on the server will be this one, the http stuffstyling.store/add stuff.php. Then you post all the hash map to the server side. Then the sync task upload class will execute. Then the server side, the public image, the add stuff, the PHP file is here. Then all the hash map will be getting from here. The post will get all the column here. Then we'll execute the query to insert query will insert into the stuff all the column name and the value here, and the image path will be set into the image slash then the image name .jpg. Then we'll execute for the query for the upload the image file content, which the base64 decode, and we'll execute the query. The next thing I would like to explain is the my post, which is this one. My post we show the recycle wheel that set the item is set by the cart wheel, and the PHP file for the my post. The query is select all the stuff from the user ID. Then all the result will be called by this JSON. The array will be called in this array. the array is by encode in this way. Yeah. If there is 0 result, we will echo 0 result back. It's not the array. So let's see the Android Studio. For this my post, and we'll see the JSON HTTP call, which the onCreate will call this function first. And this function is to string request to the server side, which using the method of post. And the HTTP JSON URL is from here, yeah, http://starstyling.store mypost.php. And this string user is getting from the login activity. There we get the login user, and this login user will be hash mapped into this user, which the user ID which using to post to get from the PHP here. So when there is a result respond back, we'll call this pass JSON response with these responses back. If there's 0 result, we'll respond the error listener, will show the exception for this one, the exception which will show the text result. For no result, so all the result will call this pass JSON responses, which is this one, the pass JSON responses. And this function will call for a for loop to set all the data from the array. And this get data app data is from the data app data here, which the getter setter. And we'll set all the variable into the data app data. And then the data app data will set into this list of data app data, which is the list with list. Then the last step will be the list of the data. The data adapter will set into this recycle view. So back to the onCreate. The recycle view will be set a listener to get the position of item selected. So that you'll be using the Gauger detector to detect the position of the item you selected by Gauger. Then you call the onIntercept touch event, which all the variable will get from the item selected, which the position which you select from the first item, like select this one, all the variable, the name, ID, category will store inside the string here. Then we will lastly call the item update activity function, which is this one. We'll call the intent of the item update activity. So all the intent will put the extra here, and start the update intent activity. We'll press it, we'll start a new activity, update intent here. The update intent is here, and this update activity is quite similar to the register activity. They also do the same thing, which will initiate the view and receive the data, which get the extra from previous. Here you put the extra, and here to get the extra, all the value. Then you bind back all the value to this text field, and this image will be load by using the glit, load the image URL and set into this image view. If the users press the delete button, we'll execute this delete from server list, the button listener. We'll ask for the confirmation, the alert dialog for the delete. If confirm, we'll select this delete from server function. We'll be going from here, yeah, delete from. We'll execute a syntax outlook class. In this do in background will be post the user ID only. For the item ID. Then the PHP here will call the PHP for delete, yeah, here. So the post method will get the ID for the item, then we execute for delete from stuff where the SID equal to the post ID here. Then we're back to the Android Studio. So the update button here, after you press the save button, we will execute this upload. Then you do the validate. If there's no there's validate okay, then we'll do the upload function, which the upload function is similar with the register just now I explained. You're doing the same way. Next we'll move on to the find activity, which the find product, and we'll first see the PHP file for the find product, which is start PHP. So the post method will get the category, condition, sort, and search, which is this whole the category query and the search bar. So firstly, the query will be select all from the stuff. If there will be many if-else statement. If the user only select category, we will append the SQL statement to this one. Yeah, this is all. If they select any either one or category or sort or search, they will append the SQL. Then finally, we'll execute the query, the SQL, and getting the output will set into the fetch associate to the result, which will JSON encode into an array. If there's a result, we'll be call back the array. If no, we'll be call back the 0 result. So we'll move back to the Android Studio. So it's quite the same thing to the my post. We're calling the JSON HTTP call, which to do the same thing, we'll set the you do the string request to get the responses. Then we'll call the JSON response here, which set the data adapter and set into a recycle view. Yeah, one more thing. This recycle view will be from these classes. The adapter is from these classes, which the image will be loading in here, the image loader with using Wally image. Then the view holder will set the text, price, condition, and that, which is from first here. Yeah, the item here, the image the title and condition, that here. So back to the find activity. So in here, every time the user select the new search or select any category, we'll do a HTTP this one HTTP call request again. We post this param with the category or condition or sort or search here. Then we'll back to the past JSON responses and set again the recycle view. Then it's quite similar to the my post. When the user select this item, we'll go to the new activity to show the details file, which also the same with the user set the listener for the recycle view with using the gauger to listen of the item selected here. Then we'll call the item activity details intent, which is from here the activity intent. We'll put the extra and get extra at the activity intent here, which will receive data and bind the data from the receive data is from this get extra from previous intent. So find activity. Another explain this one, the voice recognition function, which is this prompt speech input function. You set the intent to get the action recognize speech. Then when the user press will start this intent, we'll put the extra for extra language model and recognize intent, language model free form, and we'll put a message of the say something. Then set the request code of 100. Then in this on activity result, if this activity result code 100 will be here. So after the user finish the speech, then we're getting from they will get the data and we'll toss back the searching and the result from here. Then we'll set the search bar here for the text for the result. Then we'll do again this HTTP call to get the result from the server side. The next module I would like to explain is this feedback, which the feedback will getting from this feedback. yeah, the PHP here. So it's quite similar to the register. It's using the same method to the register product thing. We're getting the post, then you insert query, then we will execute the query here and call back to the result of one row is inserted or any error if there is an error. Then the database of feedback here is this the database table of the feedback. Then move on to the Android Studio for the feedback activity here. So it's same thing. When the user will select clear, we'll clear all the field, set back to the empty, and when the user click the submit button, we execute this valid. Before the execute this function, we'll do a validator to check whether there's any empty spaces. If empty, we'll set the error for description required or set error for need write more than 10 description words. So this upload server will do the sync task upload class, which sync with the register. We'll do in background. We'll hash map all this field data, and then you request send to the server side. And the last part I want to explain is this one. This function, this setting. This setting is using the preference to do the fragment preference fragment. So all the fragment will be setting by a key, the version key, the user feedback, logout, about. If the user press any of this thing, then we'll call all the. This is a listener for all the key. When we press the version, we toast the message of version, and this one is show the user ID. So when user press the logout, if you call the intent of back to the login activity, and we add flag to clear all the tasks. When you finish all the previous tasks, you go back to the login, and those send feedback will call back the intent of feedback activity, and about us will go to this one. So far I think that's all for my part. Okay, thank you.